Hey everyone, it is a little bit after 4 now, so I have been fasting for 17 hours now. Today is the 3 month anniversary of George Floyd. I've been making it a tradition to fast every time there's something to mourn or a current event going on to mourn. I did one at the beginning of the COVID-19 lockdown. Um, I earlier today I talked about some of the challenges I could run into when I'm fasting, but this video I want to talk about some of the fringe benefits. Obviously, fasting has a number of direct health benefits, but there have been other fringe benefits. See, the very first time I fasted 3 days, this was at the beginning of Lent. I thought for sure this is going to be really, really challenging, right? But on the second day, I felt this big peace, like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders, because I used to spend a lot of mental clock cycles on the idea of eating, right? What am I going to eat next? Oh my God, I got a craving. Can I get out of, my work to go get food? And all of a sudden, all that evaporated. I mean, I knew it was going to come back, but at least it evaporated for the day or 2 days that I was fasting. And it hit me by surprise. I never realized that would happen. I thought for sure I was going to deprive myself, but it actually opened the doors to, well, the other thing is that I intuitively you want to fill in that gap with something else, right? And so I was able to learn quite a few new things, and I believe if I remember correctly, I made a number of YouTube videos about other silly things, right? One of my favorite games to play when I'm really bored is to roll a bunch of dice and see if I can roll a 4, right? Or sometimes I use a deck of cards or even my Rummy Cube set to see if 4 will show up, right? So let's roll 2 dice. See, I like to think I'm lucky if I can roll the dice a lot of times without ever seeing a 4, right? Because 4 is an unlucky number in Chinese. It sounds like death, right? So if I can roll 10 dice without seeing a 4, I feel very lucky, right? Let's see how lucky I am today. 4! Death! Right? I don't know why I remember now. I invented this game when my brother and I went to my grandpa's funeral. My brother was very depressed. He was very connected to grandpa. So I was trying to take my brother's mind off of it, and he was 11 years old at the time, and I asked him if he knew that 4 was an unlucky number because it sounds like death. He had never heard that before, and we had a deck of cards, if I remember correctly, and I told him to scream death as loudly as he could every time he saw the number 4, and we played that a few times. Where's my cards? I want to play with a deck of cards. And we played that a few times, and helped him take his mind off of losing Grandpa. Where's my cards? I was just using that for a demonstration on one of the games. I guess we could use the Rummy Cube set. But my first time ever doing the fast, I was trying to keep myself occupied, so I kept playing death over and over and over. This was before we went into lockdown. I was sitting at a coffee shop or at the office, and I was playing the death game over and over and over to take my mind off of fasting. But then, as I got really comfortable with it, and I felt very comfortable with the idea of not having to be bothered by food and the freedom I was talking about, I actually enjoyed it, and I was able to be a lot more useful than just playing death over and over and over again, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, number 5 is kind of funny between my brother and I. When we were growing up, one of our favorite video games was Truxton. This is a space shooting game, and when you would get a game over, there would be the screen asking if you wanted to continue or not, and it would count down from 10. And when I was very young, when my mom would wake me up to go to school, I was always very tired, and I always asked for 5 more minutes. And in Chinese, the number 5 is pronounced ooh, and I would put 5 fingers up. I would go ooh, and my brother learned to that it was not a very pleasant experience for him because my mom would be waking me up and I would be asking for 5 minutes. Okay, so we're playing Truxton, and on that countdown screen, it counts down from 10, and when it would get to 5, I would show my brother that's what ooh is, right? And my brother learned to scream ooh really loudly when that screen would come up. And he had no idea what it meant at the time. I think he was like 3 years old or maybe 2 years old at the time. And he thought that that game was just named that, right? Ooh! And so we like to scream that as well. Alright, let's see. See, I'm really lucky. Death! I'm kind of lucky today. It's taking me a long time before I get to number 4 on everything, right? Death! But yeah, so getting back to the story, the first time I ever went on the fast, at the beginning I felt kind of useless, right? All I wanted to do was to talk about death. But eventually, I found it very liberating. So if this is your first time fasting, it does get better. Your life does actually go on, and by go on, I actually mean that you'll have new experiences, and you'll have good days and bad days when you're fasting, right? Fasting doesn't prevent bad things from happening, right? You could lose a family member, you could lose your job on the day you're fasting, but that's not fasting related, right? So you can't blame everything bad that happens while you're fasting on fasting, right? I just want to point that out just in case something were to happen. But at the same time, there's new experiences going on all the time. Thanks for watching.